All right, we're live. Live with Muck on the market. It's been a long time since we've been here, guys. Anyway, I'd like to welcome Muck. Muck, what do you have to say for yourself?
I feel it's good to be back. I like it. It feels like home.
Well, Monday was a crazy day after non-farm payrolls came out. Apparently, the move happened in about 10 seconds. Basically, if you didn't have high frequency trading or weren't loaded on beforehand, before the number came out, you basically scratched. And today, it has been painfully slow. There was a little glitch in the market about 45 minutes ago. I knew what it was, but for whatever reason at the moment I can't remember. Muck, I know that you wanted to talk about a bunch of different issues that you have been looking at and maybe have been in and out of. So why don't we hit on those?
Right now, at the moment, I with my partner, the Greg Gambata, are pretty heavily long LVS, like in the casino names. But to balance that out, we're trying to keep. I'm playing a basket. He's playing his style. For my style, I'm long right now. General Dynamics. I think it has a great upside. I think it can really have its range that it's establishing right now. I think you're looking at maybe 145 to 150 area on a breakout. That's where I'd be looking to cover it. Also short, which kind of getting my butt kicked right now. I'm short Alibaba, and we all know how much I like Alibaba, but I just I don't want to be long of it.
Yeah, it's a difficult issue. It's kind of been suffering with a lot of the names in that area or in that general sphere. They're typically equated with it. Twitter, Yelp. Yelp, of course, had that big jump the other day on takeover rumors, but that seemed to be ebbing already. Kind of maybe late Friday. I really haven't looked at it today, but the space looks a little bit troubled to me.
Yeah, I would. The thing is that when a lot of people are calling out $100 and stuff, and I get it. I get why it rallied, but it really hasn't, in my opinion, changed why it sold off. And I still think it can gap down to where it was before. If it does that, then yeah, my position's money, and I'll be happy. But if it doesn't, I have a very defined risk loss in it, and I'm fine. I'll take a $400 loss on it, and it'll be fine. I'm not telling anyone else they should do it, but that's where I put it in my playbook.
Any thoughts on the steel names? The steel names are rocking and rolling today. Frankly, U.S. Steel X has been very volatile for basically since about 2 weeks before their earnings. They were going up, up, up. Earnings came out, went down. Now they're up today. I got them up like 5.5%. Any thoughts there?
I was watching Zeus, a wise man called Chess and Wine, called out Zeus. But I'm also a fan of if the whole sector on its own is going up, then I think you should buy the strongest people in that sector, and then definitely short, or get short however you want to in the names that are not performing. So if steel's going up, play the best in the breed, and then crush the guys who are not following with it. I think that's always kind of been a trade that works good for a lot of people.
Basically a pairs trade, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Chess and Wine, who has not recently been on the show, but has since launched his own service, which which I've subscribed to, is doing a marvelous job. And I spoke with him. I don't know if it was Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday, and he's going to be coming on soon too. So we're looking forward to that. But anyway, not to get off the beaten path.
Yeah,
what else?
He's a very smart man.
He is very smart and very good. Um, for both the knowledgeable trader and for relative novices. I mean, he's very, very helpful and very thoughtful and extraordinarily thorough. I think anybody that spends better than 15 hours on this market a week would be very pleased with what they get from him. But anyway, go on, Muck. What else did you want to talk about today?
Yeah. I'm also long. We'll talk about I'm long. I'm long some Kinder Morgan calls. The 40-50 calls. Or sorry, it's the 50-60 calls. That's what I'm long. It's trading at 42 right now.
How long?
I got in a little while ago.
How long dated?
I have 630 something days.
Okay.
Before my option.
So it's a very long dated call.
Very, very long dated. I guess my most recent move, my most recent thing I did get long Papa John's pizza.
Papa John.
Symbol pizza.
Pizza.
PZZA.
What's it?
PZZA. So as well as you can spell pizza, it's
Yeah, I must confess to have never invested in that. Although Papa John's, who I guess started near his alma mater, which is Louisville, which anybody that pays attention to Twitter saw his pictures about a year and a half ago when Louisville won the championship of him kind of stumbling around. But irrespective, one of the places that he quickly moved to was he kind of stayed in college towns, at least initially, and he moved to Bloomington, Indiana. And I have to tell you, the pizza was absolutely atrocious. But I've heard it's improved. I haven't had it, but I've heard it's improved. Anyway, what else did you want to talk about today?
There's the curse of death, the Bob curse of death, everyone.
Well, yeah, it's not a kiss.
Well, I mean, you just ruined my trade now. No one's gonna want to buy the goddamn pizza anymore.
Well, no, I've heard it's improved. It's
like your following comes with a great responsibility, Bob.
Indeed.
But you have a big following, so what you say affects the names of other brands, Bob. You need to know your own power.
Is that right?
That's
unbelievable.
Just killed me on that trade.
Just to let you know, Muck, what I did Friday in that madcap rally was I trimmed up some longs in some of my longer term accounts that were up fairly significantly that I just didn't want to really necessarily be a part of because we've got a lot of band, if you're a chartist, there's a lot of band play going on, a lot of Bollinger Bands, whatever you want to do. I thought that was a very suspect rally, and I was a bit scared by it. And in my short-term accounts, I picked up a few puts. Not much. I mean, I'm really very small right now.
I agree. But the problem is that a lot of people have alluded to it. There's a battle between the buyers and sellers, and no one's really winning. I can't yet get off my thesis of this is a bull market, and I would rather be long than, be the other way right now.
Certainly that's been the case for the past 6 years. Now, the most interesting thing, I just want to bring this out before you go any further, Muck, was Bank of America Bank of America Merrill Lynch put out a some type of analyst statement or analyst review, which included the S&P, and showed price versus participation. And I know Mr. Topstep sent it out afterward, and somebody else did as well. It got a lot of play. Have you seen that? Are you aware of that at all?
Man, I hate to say I haven't seen any. I haven't got any Bank of America research sent to me or have it.
All right. Well,
I'm not saying that Bank of America research isn't good.
Yeah,
it's just not.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just not something I read on the regular.
No, I don't. I read it infrequently, but this report was particularly telling, I thought, or at least instructive about what was really going on underlying the market. Now, do I know that that's the case? One of the other professionals who is now since retired, who now tweets, has been pointing out as well that the put to call ratio has really gone up quite significantly of late. And again, I presume that in large part that's people just hedging their positions. I don't know though. I don't think there's a lot of people out there taking puts.
The problem with looking at the put to call ratio right now, I mean, I think it's a great thing to look at, is that we've been in such a dramatic uptrend. If you had profits, you're probably buying a lot more puts just to protect profits. I'm not saying that that's really skewing it at all, but I mean, that is a scenario. The reason why I'm long Papa John's Pizza is I feel like it's been in a 5-point trading range right now, and I feel like if it breaks over I'm long 70 calls. So if anyone wants to follow in this stupid trade, I'm down $5 as it is now, but I have a lot of contracts. Hasn't really been moving anything. I feel like
are these long dated contracts again?
I have 70 days on these.
Okay.
Around.
You basically you have better than 6, almost 7 months basically.
Yeah, and I mean, I always tend to. I learned a lesson early on that weekly contracts are just not for me. Monthly contracts, a little bit not less my style. 2 months and on contracts, I really feel like I can put a good swing trade on. And I pay more overall, but I think it's worth it to control my volatility. Control my hedges and stuff like that. I find it easier to go out a little bit farther.
I mean, you're obviously paying for that, though. You're paying for that time value.
Yeah. But the one thing I can't stand in life is to be right, but not have the right trade on. Know that something, and then instead of happening the week I thought it happens next week, and my position's already wiped out because I ran out of time.
Right.
I've had too much of that, and I don't want it anymore.
Understood.
But I feel like if Papa's on, if pizza cracks that 70, I feel like you're gonna get so much upside momentum to it that it was worth taking an unhedged bet for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know the charts, only because we did zero pre-prep for this today. I will look at the charts before our next time on, to look at that a little bit in more depth.
And then I guess to end the show, I'm still long drillers.
I'm sorry, drillers?
Especially drillers.
Drillers.
Seadrill, we're long. Seadrill, we're at about a couple thousand shares. Seadrill at $11 and $12, around that range. I think it's going. I mean, I'll hold it. I think it's going to go back up to 32 eventually. We did close out of our rig position last month. We bought calls towards the low. We sold them around 18. I'm still looking. Right now I'm a little bit waiting, but I'm a big proponent of rig. And for anyone who doesn't think oil is going to rally, tell me how. If the Permian Basin gets crushed, if Einhorn's right, how is not offshore drilling going to have to be kicked up?
I saw a number of people talk about rig this weekend, as a matter of fact, and I did a little bit of work because a couple of years ago I had owned quite a bit of rig, so I know something of the company and its its assets as well. And boy, the charts were really troubling for quite a long time. I mean, you got it at a great price, kind of bottom fished it it really well. But I'll tell you, they were not only crowing about the trade that they had already made, but they thought it had much further to go. So that certainly goes to your thesis. I don't know that I'm on the same page as that. I am not a crude expert by any stretch of the imagination. I follow it. I follow a lot of smart crude traders who know far more than me and point me to articles, and I try to read them and learn. I don't know. I see two distinct theses coming out of those reports by these oil or by these crude specialists, and that is that this was kind of a false move and that we're going back down, and that alternatively, the Saudis' move has been somewhat successful. That they did basically stomp out a lot of the fracking work, and that's not coming back. But I don't know. I mean, again, at this $60 level, do the Saudis need it here for their ends? And I think their ends are to kill a lot of the drilling that was going on, if you will, on the fringes. That certainly had a much higher marginal cost than it is to the Saudis. Any other thoughts, Muck?
I agree. I agree with that thesis. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that thesis they just pointed out. If they continue to sell off the drillers, I'm gonna pick my spots to buy them, no matter what crude is. Because we need crude. We're always gonna need crude. I'm not, buying the drillers. I'll if I want to get out of a position, I'm gonna use calls and options to do it. But when I'm putting down stock, it means that I'm either gonna hold it for 6 months, or longer, because I have a feeling that there's great upside. But I still like. I guess one of my favorite plays is still EOG. But that's we can talk about that on Wednesday. I don't know much about Pioneer. I gotta look more into that, but I do respect Mr. Einhorn very, 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 very much. So when he does call out things, it makes me really look at him. But I still like EOG. It's
he certainly killed PD. He created a bad day for PDX, huh?
Yeah, but at least PDX handled it well and didn't call 60 Minutes a liar and Einhorn
Is Lumber Liquidators changing their name to Lumber Liquidation soon?
I don't know. I'm gonna stay out of that battle.
I'm kidding. It kind of stabilized a bit, but
these guys get paid by these conferences to come out with a good idea, and they want to kind of make it, a really good idea. If some of them are, the long ideas never really get brought up. Does anyone ever say no one covers these things and was like, George Soros says to buy this? No, that never comes out. But as soon as someone goes, oh, I think this company is a short, oh God, that makes the media. He's not pissing on the game. He's just saying, what his research says and his numbers say. He's not, I don't have any problem with it. I don't know why people do, but that just shows you how this market is.
I think the financial media, at least certainly television media, has been just highly discounted. I can't believe the precipitous fall that they have taken. The numbers tell you everything you need to know there. But I mean, that being said, I heavily encourage people to follow people on Twitter. There are a ton of knowledgeable people who know far more than you and you can learn from, and they generally are very generous with their sharing. So anyway, anything else you wanted to add, Muck?
Yeah, I mean, if just remember, people, it's un-American to be short. As a good friend of mine once said, Market Plunger, it's un-American to be short.
I think he was joking. But anyway, on that note, Muck and the Markets will be back. Thanks for joining us today, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. You can look at those issues. Again, Muck pointed out LVS, General Dynamics, which is Zeus, Steel Play. He didn't like the one I brought up, U.S. Steel, but he talked about Kinder Morgan, some calls, and some calls on pizza. PZZA, which is, what is that charlatan's name? Papa John's? That's right. Anyway, I'm just busting your chops. And also talked about the drillers. So without further ado, we'll see you guys hopefully Wednesday, about the same time. Thanks so much. Bye now.